Hey, I'm John Miller, the Chief of Police in the city for the city of Biloxi. Let's talk about spring break for just a couple of minutes. In the past, our spring break usually consisted of somewhere between 20 or 30,000 people. Last year, that jumped to 70,000 people. This year, we expect 100, maybe even 125,000 people. So I wanted to review for just a couple of minutes our traffic plan. Traffic is going to be heavy and thick no matter what kind of plan we have. But our goal is to keep traffic moving and not let it gridlock. In the past, traffic has gridlocked. It takes several hours to get it moving again. So we're going to try to stop from letting that happen this year. So from the I-110 off-ramp and the on-ramp all the way to the Bees Road will be 2 lanes. The 2 outside lanes will be for travel. The 2 inside lanes will be for emergency vehicles only. Now, I know we're effectively cutting the traffic flow in half by doing this. However, it's much better to have one lane constantly flowing than to have both lanes stopped, and that's what we've experienced in the past. Also, we'll be able to get emergency services where we need to get them to. Last year, we weren't able to get emergency fire trucks, ambulances. We weren't able to get those emergency services where we needed them in a fair amount of time. So this year we're hoping to be able to do that. Now, from Iberville to the Bees Road will also be very heavily traveled. When it appears on Highway 90 that we're about to gridlock, traffic's moving so slow that we're going to have to do something, at that point we're going to shut down all of these northbound roads. Each one you see here, Iberville, Rodenberg, Veterans, Beauvoir, Eisenhower, and the Bees. We're going to shut those down so that you can't travel north. We'll also shut down all of the turnarounds on Highway 90. All right, we'll shut those down. The only thing that will remain open for a period of time will be the lighted intersections. But once traffic begins to back up, we will even shut down the lighted intersections, and that will force traffic east or west. I know that's a drastic measure. It's not going to be popular by anyone, but it's what has to happen. There's no other mechanism in place for us to force traffic out of the area. I hope that no one gets caught in this traffic flow, but I know that some will.
My question to you is, when is the traffic plan going to begin? When do we go to 2 lanes?
You'll see 2 lanes unless we have to be fluid, because if we have spring breakers coming in early on Thursday, which last year we saw a good bit of that. If a significant amount come in Thursday, we'll implement it Thursday, but more than likely we will implement this Friday, early day Friday, not quite mid-afternoon.
And what happens if John Doe citizen gets into that interior lane that's reserved for emergency traffic?
Well, that is absolutely a ticketing offense, and more than likely your vehicle will be towed.
Where will your vehicle be towed to?
Well, at this point right now, all vehicles will be towed to the lot directly across the street from Treasure Bay. There's a big open lot there. We're going to be using that for towed vehicles.
What's the biggest, what is the primary purpose of this traffic plan?
To keep traffic moving. That's the only purpose. Our infrastructure does not allow for the amount of vehicles that we suspect are going to be here. So we have to put into place some drastic measures in order to keep those vehicles moving.
A lot of people say, well, we just have a traffic plan for spring break.
No, we have a traffic plan for every event, and we have for the last 10 years. We've had a traffic plan, excuse me, for every event that we have. And we, much of the time, we end up 2-lane in Highway 90. Depending on what the event is and how far it's going to go and how many people are there.
Any advice for people this weekend if they have to travel? And I would guess the biggest thing is give yourself plenty of time.
Give yourself plenty of time. Last year we experienced up to 3-hour delays. It may have taken a person. Last year there was at one point, if you were at Porter and you were trying to get to the Bees Road, it was a 3-hour wait.
For spring breakers that are coming in, you had some advice for them on what they can do to avoid getting caught up in this.
Absolutely. Park your vehicle. Park your vehicle and get out and enjoy our beach or enjoy our restaurants. Do it on foot. Just the majority of the activity will be between the mall and Iberville Drive. The majority of it, that whole walk wouldn't take you more than an hour if you wanted to just walk and see the sights. So park your vehicle, get out, and enjoy everything on foot. The more vehicles that are off the roadway, the less possibility of us having to go to a full vent there is.
And a full vent would be whenever everybody steered.
A full vent is when we've shut down all the turnarounds, we've shut down all the lighted intersections, and we've shut down all the roads going north so that traffic on Highway 90 can only go east or west. If you're going west, you're going to go all the way down into Gulfport. You're going to be forced up Cowan-Lorraine Road onto the interstate, and then you can go all the way back down the interstate to the I-110 off-ramp and come back into Biloxi. If you're being forced eastbound, you're going to be forced all the way to the I-110 on-ramp. You're going to go up on the I-110 on-ramp, and then you will not be able to get back into Biloxi till you get to Cowan-Lorraine Road. You come in through Gulfport, and then again, you would make your way through the event area.
And the traffic plan, the very foundation of it is to have two-lane traffic on Highway 90, but you're not going to immediately close off all of the roads to turn north.
No, the only thing that will happen immediately, starting more than likely, like we had said earlier, Friday, will be the two-lane traffic. So the two outer lanes will be the lanes of travel, and the other two lanes will be shut down for the whole weekend for emergency vehicles only. We won't implement any type of venting, stage 1, 2, or 3, or our venting plan will not be implemented until we see that traffic along Highway 90 is bumper to bumper and it's backing all the way up. At that point, we know we have to do something. So the first thing we'll do is we'll shut down all of the turnarounds, right? So it's much more difficult for anybody to turn around, because what happens when they get through a particular area where there may be a lot of folks, they immediately want to turn around and go back through it again, right? That slows down traffic. So we'll shut down all those turnarounds, and then the next, we'll wait a few minutes and we'll see how that's working. Then in a few minutes, if that's not working the way we want it to, then we'll shut down all the northbound roads. So there's nowhere for you to go except east and west, unless you get to a lighted intersection. They'll still be open to go north. But if we see that that's not successfully pushing the traffic out of the area, then we will shut down the lighted intersections also, and there absolutely will be no direction to go except east and west.
You're going to have a lot of police officers from out of town, and where are those out of town officers going to be stationed?
The majority of those officers will be along Highway 90 here. All you see here are the main roads, but there are many roads going north here, turning into various neighborhoods. There'll be an officer at every one of those. That's the purpose for bringing in the officers. We know that we can't just barricade these roads and hope for the best. We've learned in the past, human nature, people will get out of their car and move the barricades, and it's the same with the turnarounds on Highway 90. People will actually get out of their car, move the barricades, and that effectively slows down traffic. And once traffic has slowed down, it may take 30 minutes for it to finally start picking back up momentum again.
Any closing thoughts on spring break as you prepare?
I beg that everyone, please give yourself plenty of time to get wherever you're going. Don't let road rage get the better of you. We're telling you in advance that it's going to be busy, and car traffic is going to be bumper to bumper starting probably early Saturday all the way till maybe 6 o'clock Sunday morning is what we experienced last year. Bumper to bumper traffic, not only in the west but also in the east. So traffic's going to be thick. So prepare early. If you don't have to leave, don't leave. If you want to go out of town and go visit, go visit. Just don't try to get on Highway 90 unless you want to be a part of the event, because you are going to get caught in that, and then you won't be able to control where you're going.
One final question. You've got a lot of police officers that are in town. You're going to have a lot of police officers on Highway 90. What about the rest of the city?
The rest of the city, we have a contingency plan like we do with all events. We have a group of policemen that their job won't be anything to do with the event. Their job will be to answer the normal 2,300 calls for service that we get every week. That'll be their job. So we're not cutting into our normal response times. We're not cutting into those at all. We'll have a set of officers that's what their job will be, is to deal with everything other than the event area.
Chief Miller, thank you very much.
Thank you.